My obeisances to everyone. Vansha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu evacha patitanan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And all of us, our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings, presence, empowerment. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharne Nirvishesha Shonyavadi Paskacha Rishi Tarne. Anyone have anything special that they thought about recently that is running through your mind? Any realizations? Malati.
Yes, Gurudev. I was just thinking, after there's been a lot on my mind, the question that Srila Narada Muni asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, right? What is the most amazing thing? And he said that death is everywhere, but people are going around with like they are not worried about it and death will not come to them. So when Kandita Mataji left her body, I offered Mahaprasadam to her every day for 16 days. And whatever I did, I offered to her. And then, because I didn't know her like that, but that's one of my services I do for a lot of whoever I think I can do for. And then my uncle is still dying. And I'm reading for him. We are now on chapter 14. My auntie has become very interested in reading Bhagavad Gita. And now she's praying Sarvam Krishna Arpitam. Everything she's offering to Krishna after have been reading. And then I found out, that she has been praying from young. She's been praying to Lord Vishnu all the while. But she didn't read Bhagavad Gita and also when we are reading now, so she's coming up with a lot of questions and realizations, and my cousin as well. And then my uncle was always very disturbed because he thought he will die. He's with the opinion, because he does horoscopes, that he will die before my auntie. He said, I want you to go. Indians, we have this thing about the older people, like they want to go sumangali. That means the wife must go with all the sindoor on her head. So my uncle is like that. And so now, and then he was very disturbed all the while. But since reading Bhagavad Gita, he's become pain-free and very calm. He only walks to the bathroom 2, 3, 4 steps and then back, and he's lying down all the time. He has cancer of the prostate, but then it's gone to the brain now. So it's all swollen up, and you can see he's really going downhill. But he cannot hear at all. Hard of hearing, totally deaf, but the soul is hearing Bhagavad Gita and the changes I'm seeing. Nice. And then now Sri Devi, I talked to her again yesterday, and she said, I have no pain, Malati. And she's taking painkillers, of course, but the hospice people are coming in today, starting, they're doing, like, helping her to shower and everything. And she's very calm. I thought, they'll go through the 5. Yeah, I thought they were
very calm.
Right, the 5 stages, normally they go, right, back and forth. So, and I still have not, and I've not talked to her for 3 or 4 days. So I'm just thinking, Gurudev, that we see so much of difficulties in this material world now with the current mood of the leaders of society, right? And then people are worrying so much about what we have, what we don't have, what we're going to lose. That's what everybody's worrying about because, and then who's going to fight with whom and what is going on in the whole world. Will atomic bomb be released soon, and 3rd, 4th World War, whatever. And so I'm just thinking that, that question that Srila Narada Muni asked, we feel like it will not happen to us. And we see it right in front of our eyes. And then how important, the most important thing that I have to do. I'm thinking like that these days.
Yeah, that's a very important, that's super important question. By the way, that question is Ahanyahani Bhutani Gachantiha Yamalayam Shisha Stavram Ichchanti Kim Acharya Atakparam. Beautiful verse from the Mahabharata where, well, we won't go into the whole story of the lake of death, but
Hare
Ganesham is here. Now we can proceed. Everything is auspicious.
Happy New Year, Gurudev.
Yes, Happy New Year to you, all of you.
Oh,
That's another subject I could touch on, but let's remind me Happy New Year. I'll say a few words about that. And but this verse, ahanyahani, and that means like day after day. Bhutani, Bhutan, that's like all living entities, actually, not just humans, but ahanyani bhutani gachantiha yamalayam, that they're all traveling to death. Death is coming, and those sinful people in the human form of life, Yamalayam, they're going Yamaraj, they will meet with Yamaraj at the end of their life, especially in Kali Yuga. Practically everyone. Prabhupada many, many times said everyone is rushing to hell in this Kali Yuga due to the very, very strong influence of passion and ignorance. The age of irreligion, age of hypocrisy, age of quarrel. Ahanyikani bhutani gachantiha Himalayam. Shesha, it means the rest of them, those that haven't gone yet. Shesha stavram, ichchanti. Stavram means like permanence or stability. Ichchanti, they're desiring. But the acharyas translate that as thinking they're not going to die. Shesha stavram ichchanti. So we're shesha. We're those that haven't gone yet, and we're wanting permanence. And I think we've talked about many times in the Sangha that permanence is part of the soul. The soul is eternal. The soul never dies. So many verses there we could quote. But because of our eternal nature, we just naturally think we'll go on, even though many people say, oh yes, I know I'm going to die. But they never really get it. They know they'll die, but somehow they're feeling they're even if they know it on some level, they even though they know on some level that they're going to leave, what kicks in from the soul is it's so unnatural. Therefore, they're really feeling as if it's not going to happen to me, even though we know it's going to happen, but we never really feel it. And as Vaishnavas, we get a really good take on that as our realizations grow, because we're already in the process of dying, and we know that. And in other words, we're already taking our next birth. We're already being reborn, and we're fearless. We become completely fearless of death because we know that there's really no change. All the things we're starting to experience, the pleasure level that we experience, just the Atmarama quality of the soul, that the soul doesn't have to do anything for pleasure. It's like it's New Year's and Christmas, and people are having all these parties. They're partying like crazy, I would suppose, in different levels. People a little bit more pious, God may be part of it, but for the most part, it's eat, drink, and be merry and party. But those pleasures are all coming from the senses, which will never satisfy anyone. In fact, the senses are, according to Bhagavad Gita, Yahi sangsparshiya dukyone evate adyantavanta kunteya nate shuramate bhuta. Says the intelligent person does not take part in the pleasures of the senses because they know that adyantavanta, they have a beginning and an end. And yonishu, they are the birth of all miseries. Yoni means birth. It can mean womb, the beginning. So it's the source of all of our miseries. But a devotee begins to experience a pleasure that has nothing to do with the senses. Except, of course, when the senses are engaged in Christian service. That's another story. Eating prasadam and hearing kirtan and hearing philosophy. But we start to feel a pleasure, even if we're not doing anything, just thinking of Krishna. It's like a much, much higher level pleasure that is eternal. And it just keeps increasing and increasing. So anyway, Shesha Stavamishtanti, Kimacharya Takparam, that Kim means what? Kim Acharya, wonderful. Atakparam, what can top this? The fact that people, they're all dying, but somehow they're going to eat, drink, and be merry and not take advantage of the great opportunity we have in this age to go back to Godhead. So tying in with New Year's, I was thinking that I was actually just ruminating in my own mind and asking Krishna and Prabhupada to give me some realization about the new year. You know, what can I say about the new year? What should I think of the new year? And what really kept coming to my mind, and I'm sure that every enlightened person has a different way they could focus upon this. But I was thinking that more important than the new year, at least for me, because it's just too big to look at, is how each day, the beginning of each day, it's like, now that I can handle, I can focus on that. Get up, do my teeth and things I need to do first thing, wake up my deities, and then chanting. And the whole day, it's like the beginning of a new day, and how much closer we can get to Krishna in that day. That I can kind of wrap my head around. Can't really wrap my head around the year. I'm sure others can. I'll be interested to hear in a moment from you to see if anyone has any thoughts on the year. But my mind just kept coming back to how much I love when I get up in the morning. I really do. It's a new day to go a little deeper in spiritual life, and come closer to Krishna. And that's a process that's never going to stop growing for eternity, because Krishna is growing, Krishna is expanding. Anandam Bhuti Vardhanam, an unlimited ocean of pleasure, is where we're headed. When we have Krishna, what gift? What other gift do you need? I think probably most of you have heard the story about this materialistic man. He's a little pious. He knew about demigods. And I forgot who he approached. Malti, maybe you remember. He approached someone that told him that if you really want to enjoy, to worship Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva can give you a very, very opulent life. So he approached Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva advised him, oh, okay, if you really want to enjoy in this world, go and see Sanatana Goswami, the great, great sage, Sanatana Goswami. He can fix you up. So we went to Sanatana. Sanatana was sitting in just under a tree. He was chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. The man came and he said, "Oh, Lord Shiva sent me to see you. He said that you have something very, very, very valuable." And Lord Shiva I've heard the story told different ways. Perhaps Lord Shiva said that he can provide you with unlimited gold. So he said, I heard, he bowed down before the sage. He's pious. And he said, I've heard you have something very, very valuable that can turn things into gold. And Sanatana, maybe he did it like they do in India. Maybe Malati can do that for us. Or, yes, no problem. Everyone's seen that before in India? If you ask, what does it mean? They'll just give you, that's also the answer. What does it mean? So, Sanatana said, yes, I have a stone, a touchstone, and anything you touch this to, it can turn it into gold. And, great. Are you sure I can have it? He said, yeah. Where is it? And he said, it's over there. It's in that pile. What pile? You mean the pile of garbage? Yes, it's in there. Just dig, you'll find it. And so he went and he's digging through and he finds it. He's like thrilled. I mean, he's got now, and he goes home and he tests it. And sure enough, he became so wealthy, like the wealthiest man imaginable. But after some time, he was feeling like something's missing. And then he thought, why is it that this great sage had it in the garbage? Maybe he's got something better. Is anyone hearing this for the first time? Really? Okay. Oh, okay. I promise you'll hear this many times in many classes. It's one of my favorite little stories. So Sanatana said, yes, he came back and he said, why was it in the garbage? And he said, you must have something even better. Sanatana said, yes, I do. Didn't tell him what it was, but he said, I have something much better. All right, can I have it? He said, you can, no problem. But first, I want you to take the touchstone and throw it in the river. His touchstone. He doesn't even know what he's going to get. He thinks it's a trick. No, he wasn't sure what to do. But he knew that Sanatana Goswami he was pious. And he knew he certainly had a lot of material desires, but he had a lot of piety. And he could appreciate the greatness of the sage. So Sanatana said, if you want, first you throw this into the garbage. Oh, God. Anyway, he was pious. So he threw it in the garbage. And then Sanatana Goswami, he gave him the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With this you will find the ultimate happiness. And my understanding, that person became a great, great, great Vaishnava. So we already have something beyond anything material. We already have it. So what else is there to achieve in this life? So many things that we would have wanted to achieve ordinarily, they're insignificant. And probably at least every other class, you hear me quoting the verse, Vyavasyatmaka bhutir ekaha kuru nandana bahushaka hinantasya bhutiyo vyavasayanam. That when we get on this path and we really know what we're going for, we become one focused. Ekaha kuru nandana. And Krishna contrasts that by saying bahushaka hinantasya bhutiyo vyavasayanam. That those who are materialists, they are bahu shaka. Bahu means many, shaka means arms or branches. So they have many branches. They're all over the place what they want. But a devotee is completely focused. And we have it. We're already tasting it now. So everything changes. When you've got that, everything changes. We're finding that my material senses are never going to satisfy me. And if they could anyway, it's the body's going to start to fail and the senses don't work. And we're starting to get that higher taste. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Vishya vinavartante nirahasya that we don't, I think I mentioned this in the class I gave the other day, that many times I hear from devotees, my students, all of you, how can I give up my desires, my worldly desires? And we always make the point is that you can't give up desiring because that's the nature of the soul. The soul is full of desire, but not for material things. The soul is full of desire to please Krishna, to please our lover, to please the Vaishnavas. Pleasing a Vaishnava is more pleasing to Krishna than pleasing Krishna. That's why we like to get to the end of the line. And so we don't give up desire because that's the nature of our soul. But we have to, as Krishna says, param drishva navartate, by experiencing higher taste. And that's our process. Just like coming to this Sangha. Boy, is this sweet. There's nothing I'd rather, could imagine anything better than coming here and being with all of you and just talking about Krishna. Hearing your realizations, watching you grow. It's Nitai's texting me. Yeah, wonderful. So that was my thought on the new year. I can't grasp the year, but it makes me think of how each day that I can focus on. And at the end of the day, we can look back and think, wow, I did this, I did that, I did this. I worshiped my deities. I made them breakfast. I made them something for lunch. I had something for dinner. I spoke to this person and that person. And then we can really sleep knowing that we've made some progress on the journey. But a person who doesn't have that purpose in life, they're not on course. The day's basically wasted and gone. We can actually be putting money in the bank, so to speak, our spiritual bank account. And literally, day by day, spiritual life gets better and better and sweeter. And material life begins to look flatter and flatter. Oh, what happened? Oh. Okay, that's a spam call trying to come in. We decline it. Okay. Anybody have any thoughts on New Year? Tirth Prabhu, you must have spoken about the New Year's many times in talks.
I have. In past church services, it's about letting go of the old and embracing the new that God is bringing to us. It's about, there's a lot of things in scripture about being given a new name, being having a new life. So it's about renewal and transformation. Although I will admit that most New Year's have fallen a bit short for me. I mean, it's like, okay, it's just another day and it's another number, but this one was very different for me without me necessarily trying to make it different, because it was very much um, that this whole season has been very much about seeking God and studying scripture and starting this new chaplaincy ministry I'm in. And so it, for me, really was about focusing on my spiritual transformation and seeking the Lord, and really, so it had a whole different quality. It was very, very spiritual for me. So that's my experience.
Nice. Hold on a second. Let me just text this person back. Giving a class right now. Oh. Anybody else? Any thoughts on the new year and what? Malachi.
Gurudev, I'm thinking, oh no, I have done it. I'm saying not Happy New Year. I said have a blessed New Year, because I'm thinking I don't think it's happy. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's happy, but there's so many challenges that are coming in our lives. So I just say that have a blessed New Year, so that whatever challenges that come, I can tackle them and confront them and accept them with the faith and surrender to the Lord. So when I've wished, I've said, I want to stop saying happy. I'm going to say blessed, because because if Krishna is not there, then he's not happy at all. So yeah, because Richard just asked me the question 3 days ago. He said, I wonder what is my life expectancy with Parkinson's. And then he counted, and he's 10 years. And then the statistics shows that 14 years they pass away. So I said, then he said, I think that I feel myself going down. He told me that the other day. I feel very tired nowadays. He sleeps a lot. And so that's why I said, I don't know. Last year I had all the the brain surgery and then the heart attack and my everything. So I thought, God knows what Krishna is going to give me this year. So better I do it this way. Have a blessed New Year, so I can tackle those things with Krishna, and surrendering to him. Whatever he gives me, that's fine. If he's there, I'm good. Nice. And you are there, Gurudev, I'm fine. And everybody here in this Sangha, your disciples are awesome. Truly, they're so wonderful to me. They've embraced me as one of you, so it's very nice. So I appreciate that.
I usually say something to the effect of have a very spiritually inspired year. That's the greatest wish, that we become more and more inspired spiritually. That's kind of a general thing I often talk about. I just received a text this morning. A very, very dear friend of mine, he was a photographer, worked for me for years, and very, very Krishna friendly. Liked to go to the temple and so on. But he wasn't a devotee. He wasn't even a vegetarian, but a great respect for devotees. And he worked for me for, gosh, at least 15, maybe 20 years. And his father-in-law, interestingly, is a godbrother of mine. Anyway, he had for many years, he had cancer. And then a week or so, I guess little over a week ago, he passed away. And his wife, who I don't think she ever really contacted me. I've always dealt with him. She sent me a text that her and her children, two children, were really hurting. And I said, hey, I'm here for you. I'd be happy to come over and visit with the family, and we can talk about the positive things. He ate lots of prasadam. I mean, and he ate prasadam because I was always feeding him prasadam. And he's a really, really good person. So I feel very confident speaking with them. So and then they're going to have. She said that they wanted to have a celebration where people would paddle out off of Waimanalo Beach, and I, being a boat guy, I said, I don't. That's maybe not so practical. This time of the year, there's going to be a lot of surf, and that's not practical. But I'm happy to help you come up with some other plan. And so I'll be getting together with her. It's really great when you've got something to give people, right? People that are hurting, like Tirtha Prabhu, when he goes to he has so much to give the patients that need to hear something positive or hear something enlivening.
What was the photographer's name, Gurudev?
Fernando. Did you meet Fernando?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. He's from Argentina. So I was always spoke Spanish with him, even though my Spanish is terrible. But like at the weddings, we did so many weddings together. He got a place like 4 doors down from the Hobbit house. And so he could just walk over and do the weddings. Really, really nice guy. Anyway, yeah, Fernando. Really sweet. Really good father. I mean, he couldn't wait to get out, do his job and then go back and be with his family. And I'm going to hear him talking on the phone with his wife. It was always, mi amor, my love. And he's very, very smooth. And but I could tell, a really great family man. Made me feel like I never really had a father in that sense. Back when I grew up, my dad left when I was 15. So this was back literally in the mostly the 50s and a little bit into the 60s. 63 he left. And he was a good man materially. He was took care of the family. He did well financially, but he wasn't like the mother. The mother takes care of the kids. That's how it was back then. It was all my mom. He didn't really have much to do with raising the children. He'd come home, we'd read the paper, and my mom, did everything. But Fernando, he was such a hands-on. He couldn't wait to get home and take his kids out pony riding, and it was always like the ultimate family man. I thought, God, I never had a dad like my dad. Wasn't nothing like that. He was just super person. So I got a lot of positive stuff I could talk about in the talk with them, and then reading from Bhagavad Gita and all the good karma that he's built. And anyway, it's nice that we can give something to people, even people that aren't on the level of Fernando, that didn't need a lot of prasadam or go to the temple and do things. But anyone, we can plant a little seed of hope. Even the fact that the soul's eternal, and Tirtha's, he's the expert at that. He knows how to approach each person and talk about how to do it. Oh my gosh, I guess I'm talking a lot because we only got one question today from Rasika Pujari. Does anyone have anything that?
Sorry, Gurudev, I didn't write one. I'm so sorry.
We'll let you off.
Don't finish the sentence. I was going to think, I should have said that. You say you go to hell. I forgot that.
Well, we already know that. The question is how long you'll be there. We just tack on a few more celestial years.
Yeah.
A few more lifetimes of
I'll
Lord
go
Brahma.
anywhere you send me. I'll be fine.
Anyone have any comments on what we talked about so far? So Rasika Bajari, Rasika, I had a hard time understanding your question. So could you kind of break that down for me? How many people saw Rasika Bajari's question? Yeah, I had a hard time understanding exactly what you were asking.
Yes, Gurudev. So it fits into kind of what we're talking about right now. I like the point that Malati Mataji made that the world is full of so many problems. And in tying to the new year, after so many births, we're coming to Krishna consciousness.
Right.
And in this birth, it feels like we're dealing with everyone's problems, the whole world's problems. And so, there's many senses and you have to control the senses. But I was wondering why free will isn't considered a sense. Because with everyone's problems, either we can deal with everyone's problems and give into it, or we can say, after many millions of births, I'm coming to Krishna conscious, so I'm going to choose Krishna conscious over everything else.
Again, it's a little, I'm not quite sure how to approach it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about the senses. And he says, Manakshistani indriyani prakriti-stani karshati. Karshati means a struggle, that every living entity is struggling with our senses. And Manakshistani indriyani, that means the mind and the six senses. Manakshistani indriyani, or including the mind, they're the six senses. So the mind is one of the senses that, just as our senses enjoy stuff, they get a buzz from this and a buzz from that, and it's a smells good, tastes good, feels good, right? Pretty to look at, nice to hear. But the mind also, the mind is, we want our mind to be happy and joyful and so on, and materially, but it's all basically nonsense. Like, let's say, for example, someone's being flattered. Oh, like they love that. Like our president. You think our president likes to hear people say nice things about him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a sense. The mind is one. It's the feel good of the mind that has nothing to do with spirituality. And we have so much. Krishna gives us free will. You're always throwing free will into this question, and we have a choice. Everyone has a choice to, and it's often, and I think something you sent me said limited free will, because in this material world, our free will is quite limited, and it's pretty much limited to accepting or rejecting Krishna. Because the rest of the will, the things that we want, are really driven by the modes of material nature. The modes of nature are blowing us. And there's really nothing we can do about it, because it's so strong. Maya is so powerful. We can't overcome it, overcome Maya on our own. So we're forced along. But we always have this choice to accept or reject Krishna. When we decide to accept Krishna again, even in our mind, if we're thinking, we're all alone, but something is starting to appear in our heart, Krishna knows immediately. Krishna immediately, it's that free will, and then Krishna arranges. But Krishna will never force us. Krishna, that would destroy the idea of love, because love is all voluntary. So Krishna, as Krishna famously says in the Bhagavad Gita, that in the 18th chapter, iti te jnanam akyatam guyad guyataram maya vimarshaita rasheshena yateshasi tatakuru. This is a very important verse. Krishna says, Arjuna, I've now spoken to you. This is the end of the Gita. I've now spoken to you. Jnanam iti te jnanam akyam guyad guyataram maya. Confidential, more confidential, most confidential. I've spoken. And he says, Vimarshaita asheshena. Vimarshaita means to cogitate upon, in your mind, think in your mind. Asheshena, fully. And then yatechasi taktakuru. You've got the free will now. You can either follow me or follow your senses. Now, Krishna will that's how Lord Krishna left off. It's your choice, Arjuna. Think about it. Decide what you want to do. But it doesn't mean that Krishna's devotees will take a more aggressive position, especially Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya instructed his devotees go out and approach anyone and everyone. There's a verse, what is it? Patra patra, patra apatra. I can't remember the exact verse. Patra patra. Patra apatra. Patra means someone who's like a fit, or someone apatra who's not really fit. Patra patra. And stanastan. That means whether you're in a stana means place. So stana, you're a nice place. You're at the temple. You're at somebody's home, a proper place, or astan, a place that's not a good place. Even a bar, anywhere. Lord Chaitanya instructed that don't consider who's qualified, who's not qualified, whether it's a proper place, proper time. Spread the holy name. And Krishna's devotees take without being obnoxious, but we'll go out and try to influence people as much as we possibly can to give them Krishna. You can't force them. But under Lord Chaitanya's instruction, we'll, and Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, they set the example with Jagai and Madhai. They approached the two most unqualified people, and in the most horrible place, just out on the streets where they're just drinking, and they would go anywhere to preach. So ultimately everyone has free will. And Krishna just tells it like it is. But devotees will come on, chant, eat this pakora. You know, we'll go out and do practically anything that we think might help someone become Krishna conscious. And that's the greatest way to please Krishna. Krishna loves it, especially Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. Rashik, I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yes, Gurudev, that answers my question.
Yeah, this material world is meant to be a place of suffering. And what we're going through right now in Kali Yuga with this horrible president, and it's insane. But it's all somehow it's part of Krishna's plan. Krishna's letting it go. And it's, I think I talked before, I mentioned that I really started to feel not so attached to my country even anymore. A little detached. I mean, I still love America. I'm an American. I'm very American. I'm very comfortable in America in a sense, but it's getting really crazy. And I know that it's all part of Krishna's plan, that Trump and all these crazy people it's quite insane. But so it's making me feel detached. There's a real positive side to it from the country. I mean, I'd do anything for my country, but I'm not as attached. Krishna knows which things I'm attached to, and he's chopping at those roots. And I'm a real American. I like America. I liked all the things I went through in my lifetime, the 60s, and it's all good. Prabhupada's movement started here, right? And I was part of that right in the beginning. Whoa, how cool. And but free will is very, very, a very precious thing. That Krishna's created us with free will. So there's not much we can do here. We're completely influenced by the modes of nature otherwise. So it's kind of like our limited free will. But when we go back to the spiritual world, it's unlimited free will. We're not in, there's no influence of the modes of nature. We're influenced by the nature of our soul. We're just in love with Krishna. And we can do anything. We're hardly doing anything inside this body. All we can do is desire. I can't lift my hands. I can't speak. I can't do anything. I can't remember anything. I can't forget things I want to forget or remember things I want to remember. That's all, kind of in the stars for me, But in the spiritual world, we have no idea what real freedom is like. It's like if someone's been in prison they've never even been out of the prison. They can't imagine what life is like out of the prison. We can't imagine. Everything's determined. Everything is so little free will you have you can eat with your spoon or eat with your fingers. You can be a real problem in the prison, or you could be a model prisoner. But it's all in the prison. There are very limited choices. You can work in the commissary or helping prepare food or washing clothes. But, there's not a lot of choices. But when we get out in the world, whoa, you can do anything, go anywhere, do anything. And that's how we're kind of coming out of that prison. Each day feels like, wow, it's like I'm rediscovering the world as I see it through different eyes and through a different mindset. Everything is changing. Therefore, that was my meditation for this year. So every day, It's, a new day. It's so sweet. And watching, watching my body fail, it's all positive. Did I tell the story? I told this in class the other day. Did I ever tell the story of the man who I guess he was pious because he knew Yamaraj, and he asked Yamaraj to let him know when his time, give him a warning before his time is up. Did I tell this story? I didn't tell it here. Okay.
Oh, not here. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he approached Yamaraj. He was pious, and but he wanted to make sure that he was ready when the time came, when he left his body. So he asked Yamaraj, please, just give me notification. So Yamaraja, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'll send you notices. So as the man was aging, gradually his hair turned white. How many? Let's see if us guys here. How many? Rasika, do you have any white hairs yet?
No, you can't say that, Gurudev, because tomorrow I'll start looking more. The words of a spiritual master, it's,
Ganesham, any whites?
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to embarrass the ladies, but yeah, we can see Tirtha Prabhu. You have like this kind of blonde hair. There's a lot of whites in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of white in there.
Okay. Anybody here ever have any dental work done?
Yep.
Yeah, we all have teeth issues, right? So this man, he was going through all these changes. His hair was turning white, and his teeth were falling out, and his hearing got very poor. And then he died. But he's saying, Yamaraj never, Yamaraj was there. And he said, I asked you to send me some notice. And Yamaraj said, I sent you all kinds of notice. Remember when your hair turned white and your teeth fell out and you couldn't hear anymore and your sense of smell got weak and you were tired a lot? Didn't you notice your skin wrinkling? So he said, I sent you lots of notices. You didn't take note. So it's kind of like that, where Yamaraj is sending us notices. Is anybody noticing the notices? Yes. Well, we like that. We like that. Our false ego doesn't like it. My false ego doesn't like when I look in the mirror. I'm not like a handsome young guy anymore. Not that I was ever really that handsome anyway, but, not sane. So Krishna's sending us all kinds of notices. So we like that. We're okay with our age. Any final questions? Anybody have a question?
Ram Dass had his hand up, and I have my hand up. But Ram Dass had his up first.
Okay, Ram Dass, go ahead. Ram Dass Abhiram. Okay, Chit, why don't you go?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I had this video that I thought it kind of touched that same free will in which you talked about.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Can I share it with you guys?
How long is it? Because we're running out of time.
It's probably like 2 minutes, maybe less than 2 minutes or 2 minutes. It actually talks about this free will.
How do I, Tirtha Prabhu, how do
I
do
could send it through that. I could send it to the WhatsApp through the chat, and you can put it on the screen if you like. I think the devotees will like it.
Will that work?
Yeah, if he puts the link in the chat and you click on the chat, that'd pull it up.
Then I got to share my screen.
Then you'd have to share your screen.
Okay, let's try it.
And you'd have to optimize your sound in the video.
Okay, you have to show me that in a minute. Let's. I tell you what. Let's do it. Let's do it next time, or do it tomorrow. Because I think we're too late. I wanted to hear from Tirtha, and I do kind of want to end on time for everyone. So let's save that, Prabhu. Yeah, we'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. Now you got my curiosity. Anything that has to do with free will.
It's already sent. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, but I got to get it working. So we're gonna hold this, and we'll do this next week, for sure.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll hold that. Tirtha Prabhu, you were going to say something.
Well, I mean, it's just an ongoing realization that you helped with today. But what I realize in my life is that if, I was always on some level choosing the Lord, but what I notice is in those times when I'm not choosing the Lord, I don't have really free will. It seems like, because like you said, the modes of material nature are just in operation. I'm in a prison, but I don't know it. Deep down, I know it, but it's like I have amnesia. It's like I don't even know that, or like anesthesia, like I don't feel the suffering that I'm actually in some way. Why is it? Here's my question, and I could save this for next week, but why is it that all right, we were talking about how amazing it is that people don't realize their own
mortality,
death. But what I find even more amazing is that people don't know they are suffering. People don't know that they're in prison. People don't. And is that because Krishna is somehow giving them what they want and letting them be blind to what's happening? Is that all Krishna's design?
It's definitely Krishna's design. And we're under the influence of Krishna's Mahamaya. We're put under, as soon as we leave the spiritual world, the Maya. There's two things going on. It's what is the Sanskrit? The Sanskrit for it. It's the throwing and covering potency. Right. Malati, what is it? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Is it the
Avarnatmika and prakshepatmika? Thank you. Yeah. Avana means to cover. Avarnatmika and prakshepatmika. So there's the throwing potency which there's not a lot of details about it, but when we decide we want to go, we go, and then the cover goes over us, the covering of Maya. Avarnatmika, that's the covering. And we're covered, we're in an illusion. It's like we're in the movies, and we're like when you go to a movie, you just let yourself go. You're covered by the illusion of the movie, and it all seems so real. Right. But all it is just some lights flashing and some sound.
Right. And here's my follow-up question, and that is that some of us, myself included, quickly discover how illusory it is.
Yeah.
We discover, hey, this is a trick, but other people don't notice. But me, I could see there's nothing substantial in this. It's all illusion.
Right.
That there's only the Lord. Why would I? So how is it that some people wake up to that and others do not?
Well, because it's confidential knowledge. It's confidential knowledge, and Krishna gives that confidentiality. Just the fact to know you're not your body, that's pretty confidential. Every species thinks that they're their body, and they like it. Even in it even says in the Bhagavatam that even in hellish species of life, they're fine with it. And to truly realize that you aren't the body fully, Krishna has to remove that Maya. Daivihi Shagunamai Mama Maya Dirachaya. Krishna says that this covering potency is a divine energy that's covering. It's ultimately some expansion of Radharani, ultimately. Maya. Of course, Maya is our friend, but still she's covering us, and she's keeping the insincere away from Krishna, but at the same time, she's our well-wisher. So we are covered. And to really realize, to have the realizations that we're all starting to have, it's all coming from our chanting and our purification of heart.
But even before one is chanting, even before, I mean, some people realize they're lost and others don't. Like I began to realize, oh, wait, I've got to really engage in the spiritual life. And then there's others, they're like, why?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it.
So it's some recognize and some don't. So I just see it as a big grace
okay.
that I could see through the illusion. But
I think I have the answer.
Okay.
There's three modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And we're all influenced by them. Usually they're competing for one another. Those who are situated in the mode of ignorance are really covered. They're really covered.
Okay.
Those in the mode of passion are also covered, but not as deep as those in the mode of ignorance. Those who tend towards a mode of goodness, they have better facility. And that's why the Varnashram system was to gradually bring you from the mode of ignorance through in many lifetimes, the Varnashram system to get you towards a mode of goodness, to where you can think straight. So it's the mode of goodness, even though it's material. It gets you start thinking, boy, is this ever going to be happy? Those in the mode of goodness, they don't get so involved in the few people that are really highly in the mode of goodness. They can see the futility of the sensory pleasure. They don't necessarily know about Krishna, but they can see the futility of material life, and they just kind of do the best they maybe try to help open hospitals or do pious things, but they can see the rat race, but they don't really have the answer. That's a mode of goodness. It really takes a mode of pure goodness, which can come, which is what the chanting and devotional practices do for us. Then we start to wake up. We can start to understand God becomes a part of it. And so yeah, some people they're covered. It's a mode of ignorance. It's really covering them. They're just. I've talked before about my friend who lives across the street. He's a PhD guy, and really a nice person, but so influenced by the mode of ignorance, he just can't get it. There's no interest in talking about how we're not the body, and loves got to have a steak, when I'm cold, will say, "You gotta eat meat. You gotta come over here and have some steak." Anyway, and then other people, they're more in the mode of goodness. They could just pick up on it. Like Malati and I met this woman, Sri Devi, once we initiated her, but she just had some mode of goodness in her. And as soon as she saw this little book, Beyond Birth and Death, that Malati had put out, she grabbed it and she read it and she picked up the card in the back and she called me up and, this is pretty cool. And then Malati really became her Shiksha guru. And wow, she's just transformed her. She's very ill now. She's in hospice and she won't probably live much longer. What would they say, Malati? 6 months or something? 5 months?
Yes, they said 6 months. So now 2.5 months is already gone with 3 chemotherapies. So not very long. Yeah.
I kind of officially accepted her as a Shiksha disciple. And I couldn't, you can't chant 16 rounds. I can't initiate her, and quite frankly, I don't know the difference. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's, I've really, taken her into my heart. And again, as Malati, it really is.
No, Gurudev, you are no Gurudev, not me. And the best thing that she has received in her entire life. She was so happy on her initiation, and it's really transformed her from that day. I feel a lot more transformation.
It was powerful.
Yeah.
It was really
Very
powerful.
Yeah,
We just
did it. So simple.
We did it online. And it was very, very sweet. And she's transformed. I mean, her next life, it's up to Krishna. Krishna could take her back to Godhead, or she'll take some really high birth.
Yeah.
She's been chanted 16 rounds for so long. And she's an elderly woman. In her, was she like 63 or something?
She's 69 now. She's 2 years
she's
older.
69.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, but she's been chanting 16 rounds when her health was good enough, and now she's chanting some every day.
Yeah.
And
she's not chanting so much now because she said she has ptosis on one eye because of the chemotherapy. One of the eyelids have ptosis, is closing all the time, swollen. And then last night she told me, I'm feeling so sleepy, Malati. I cannot keep myself awake. So I said, don't worry. She has that box, the music box with Srila Prabhupada chanting. So she kept it in her room now. And so Srila Prabhupada is chanting and she's hearing all the time. And then she's sleeping a lot, she said. So I said, it's okay. You've done a lot. Yeah. And Gurudev is always with you. Srila Prabhupada, they will take you where you're supposed to go. So don't worry. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of that was really, really sweet. Helping this woman. You never would have thought would have been a devotee.
Yes. And Parampara Prabhu wrote to me and Mata a few weeks, about a month ago. He said, Mata, I want to come and visit you. I want to take you to temple. So I told Parampara Prabhuji, I said, Prabhuji, more than taking me, I want us to take Sri Devi and to take her to temple one time before she leaves her body. But now I don't think she'll make it because he can only come in summertime. So I don't think she'll make it. So it's Krishna's will. So I thought, yeah.
So it's actually it was her free will that she turned to Krishna. And I think she had a lot of mode of goodness in her.
Yes.
And that's sort of back to Tirtha Prabhu's question. Some people, they're just really influenced by the mode of ignorance and they just can't get it. And it has nothing to do with mundane intelligence. Because some people, like devotees, they're not like mental giants, but they're great devotees. They chose Krishna. They could make that change because they had the mode of goodness in them. But again, we don't. We'll try anyone. We'll try anyone because you don't really know. It's hard to tell who will take and who won't take. But we'll try anyone. And that's what we're instructed to do. Because Lord Chaitanya can, for some reason, even if someone's in the mode of ignorance, they may take to it. Because the holy name is so powerful.
Yeah.
And Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. Don't think who's fit, who's not fit. Don't worry who's in the mode of ignorance or who's in the mode of goodness. Anyone. Patra patra. Whether qualified or they're not qualified. Try. Okay. We're past your, oh my God, we're well past your time. Thank you all so much for being here. And see everybody back here next week. And those that can make it tomorrow, we'll have another session tomorrow. Same time, same station. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol.
Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.